Alright, here we go. Part 2. Yeah, as I was saying, really nothing like my mother's side. Don't look like them. Don't really. They have a certain way about them. Don't really act like them neither. If I have to speak my truth, you know, my mother's side of the family, looking back on it, I can never say that my mother's side of the family ever went to any type of church. I've never seen it. I can also say that my mother's side of the family, back in the day, was a very close-knit family. They had their things like everybody else's family. Their triumphs, their rewards, their overcomes, their losses, their achievements, their struggles. Same as my father's side, but they was a little bit more prone to the struggles. It's like they couldn't get over it. As I get deeper into just discovering me and connecting back to myself, I realized that really everything is spiritual. Everything happens first in the spirit. And I realized that other people, not only myself, they know that things happen in the spirit first. Either they are tapped in from birth, they're developed through their life, or it's something that is gained or achieved. But once they become spiritual, they become one with the knowing and understanding of how everything operates first spiritually. It's a hellacious thing, hellacious, when you find out that people know more about the spiritual than they had represented themselves. That some of the things that you have gone through in your life has came because of spiritual attacks, covenants, and agreements that people had spiritually between themselves in a demonic way, or between entities. Let me just say this before I go any further. I love my family. It's the only family I got, the only family I know. But I do notice things. You can call this a spiritual journey. You can call this whatever you want to call this. I like to call it my life. And my life is a marathon. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel a burst of energy and get to running. But this thing here is at your pace. It's always been at your pace. I gave this analogy to somebody today. And this might fit. So maybe this might help somebody. You see, your life is a playbook. It's already been written out. The only thing you have to do is call the plays that the coach tells you. Except when you get up to the line, and we're going to use football. All right. When you get up to the line, you're a quarterback. You get up to the line, you call the play, broke the huddle, break. Everybody goes up to the line. Excuse that. Somebody needs some help out here. So you go up to the line. You look at the defense. Your first instinct is to make audibles, to fit the play. But the audibles are the mess ups. See, the audibles are you thinking that you can control what's going to happen because you can see. You see? You understand that? Because you can see, you're eager to call audibles because you have some sort of sight of what you see to happen. Here's my thing. And I get that our first instinct is to make audibles. But why isn't our first instinct to make adjustments? You would think that adjustments or audibles are the same thing. No, they're not. An audible is a complete change of the play. An adjustment is you going with the play, but just making a quick juke or a stiff arm or a maneuver and still going with the play. I like to call the audible the ego. And the ego operates from our stabilization. The more that we feel stable, the more the ego dissipates. The more we feel unstable, the more the ego increases. Mike Vick barely, he might have called adjustments at the line. Shifts, maybe. But not too many audibles. Why? Because he was the creator. He knew that he can maneuver, make an adjustment, and still make that same play work. Why are we going against ourselves doing audibles? aren't we trusting the process? Or aren't we letting everything unfold so then we can see clearly? Because we don't know how the play is going to be until the play is actually performed. The ball is snapped, and then we get to see exactly how. Now, because we think we know. You could take a loss on down easily and not give up nothing. You could throw away the ball, anything, down it. Anything. But the key is not to be moved from the emotion, but to operate in the logic. That's the key. Something gets my nervous system all riled up. I try not to operate while I'm riled up. I try to operate at a calm level. So if that means I gotta calm myself back down, that's just what that means. I gotta calm myself down. All right, well, hold on, chill out. It's not that bad. What we gotta do? What we gotta do? Okay, this is here. What's the next move? And I sit like that, and I wait for a correspondence back. I mean, most people can think anything and everything that they want. Like, what do you mean you wait for a correspondence back? I mean, I wait for the plan to pop into my head. And then from there, I execute it and make an adjustment. Live, while the play is operating. Yeah, that part. I don't make any type of audibles at the line because I don't know. And I don't want to overassume. So might as well just go with it. Because first and foremost, it was divinely guided that I would just go with that. The plan popped into the head. Who knows why the plan popped into the head? It wasn't a negative plan. It was a positive plan. A plan of light, a plan of intelligence, a plan that if you can execute, a plan that could work. Why would I go against that first plan? Because I see the things ahead of me doesn't look like is suitable for that plan? That's crazy. That's crazy. That means I could be swayed by anything that happens and knock off my pivot. Nah. I don't want to be knocked off my pivot. And I think sometimes that's the things that we deal with in this world. So before I went down that long rabbit hole before I started going on to my family, I mean, like I say, everybody's family is different. And everybody's family goes through some sort of trauma. Some sort of trauma. Living some sort of trauma. Because that's how the system is geared up for it to be. It's trauma. It's trauma filled. Trauma keeps you plugged in to this bullshit. Trauma. Start addressing the trauma. Start going through it. Page by page. Layer by layer, like an onion. Start going through it. Peel that shit back. See what the quirks that make you what they are. Why are you so weak when it comes to this? Why are you compromising when it comes to that? These are the real questions. When you start addressing those, you start breaking down who you really are, who you really are. Not, I mean, let me go ahead and say this before I say anything else. It's okay to see somebody and be like, damn, I like how they do it, and then take things that they do and do it. It's perfectly fine. perfectly fine. It's even perfectly fine to embody a thought or idea of. That's even fine. But to embody a thought or idea of anything, something, person, place, thing, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, and not put your own spin on it and say, this is how I'm going to do it for me. This is how I'm going to make this my image. How to take something, remix it, and make yourself the creator of what you are creating. I think you need to look deep inside of your soul. And I mean, there might be a question of what kind of soul that you have. Me personally, I communicate with people who have living souls. Souls who know that they are alive, that they are experiencing life. I connect with those souls. Thank you for all the monetary spirits that's in here. Seen a couple big ass flies around me. That's what that is. Whenever you see them big ass flies, motherfuckers are monetary spirits. Somebody's trying to get up in your business. Somebody's doing some sort of spell work. Yeah, and be careful about that too. You never know. People in your family, you never know. If you just waking up to a lot of this shit. I mean, me, my whole life I've been awakening. I can say that wholeheartedly, honestly. My whole life I've been awakening. My whole life. So, everything, has been a process for me. Down the chain of commands. Or up the chain of commands. However it goes, however it is. I know that I'm spiritually ranked. I know that I have a lot of spirits around me for my highest good. And I know that I'm divinely guided, divinely protected, and highly favored. And it's going to take some divine intervention to knock off the course, but talking negatively about a person, that's spell work. That's witchcraft. You're invoking the tongue to say things. When you use visualization to try to knock somebody off the pivot and to do things spiritually, project, energetically do things, you got to understand something, man. And I want you to really understand something. When people are on a path of purpose, not only is it hard to knock them off their square, but they're so ranked that when you send things, when you do things, it does not stick. It's like they're oiled up or something. It's like it slicks off of them. And it has to go somewhere, people. That's the thing. It has to go somewhere. I'm sorry. Pardon me. I had to get up, my people. There was a lot of spiders crawling on me. I wasn't really liking that. But yeah, it has to go somewhere. So But yeah, let me go ahead and get more into me, man, because I think that's what the people wanted to hear. That rant just had to come out, I guess. But yeah, you know, I'm very much spiritually inclined. I very much I'm just on a spiritual journey of enlightenment. Just trying to know me like everybody else who is tapped into this abundance, man. Just every day being a new adventure of discovering more about myself, how powerful I really am. I just never noticed, never really tapped in. It's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. It's just such a beautiful thing. And I'm just so grateful, as most people are. Just grateful to not only be alive, but just to go through this process, see where my life takes me. And I feel it's taking me to somewhere I could never imagine myself to be, man. Something I could have never imagined myself to be doing. Experiencing things I never imagined I could be experiencing. Just living out loud. Laughing, crying, going through it all. This has been an amazing journey. And it's getting more amazing every single moment. I am so in love with my life. I am just so in love with me. For real. Oh my gosh. I'm just so in love with me, man. Tell you, monitoring spirits, man. Them horse flies, man. I'm trying to tell you. Them big, juicy flies, man. Whenever you see those, somebody trying to get up in your energy. That's a fact. Somebody's trying to get up in your energy. Yeah, man. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of something else I could say about me. I mean, middle-aged individual male from the DMV area. Spent some time out Virginia, West Virginia. I've been a lot of places. Been to Pennsylvania, New York. Been to places. I've seen things, experienced things. Come from a real rocky childhood. Got into a lot of things when I was a kid, like everybody else during their adolescence. Experienced pain, experienced death of a child. I've had people play in my face. I've had people who say they love me, that don't love me, that don't care about me, that wish me death. And through all that, I smile. Through all that, I find purpose in the pain, knowing that instead of saying, Why me? Shit, it had to be me. Ain't nobody else built for this. They, their head would have caved in between their shoulders, man. They're not built for this. They can't withstand this. It takes a special person to stand within the sun. Within the sun. And take this shit. You hear me? A special person to stand within the sun and take this. I still feel like, yeah. Let's do it again. Let's do it again one more time. You feel like that. You feel like that. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. I feel like that. Like, yeah, let's do it again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you coming up against me? Okay, yeah, no problem. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it again. Oh, man, I gotta retwist mine. Oh, man, anybody in the DMV area want to retwist this thing? I need somebody to retwist this thing urgently. Urgently. I'm just going to say forget it and do it myself like I have been doing the last couple times. That's another thing, man. People out here charge way too much to do somebody's hair. I mean, I get it. Everybody got to eat. Everybody got to make a living. But I mean, I get it. Listen, some people's hairs, yeah, you got to gauge people's hairs. But man, listen, I think it should be standard price, $60. You don't got to wash somebody's hair. You ain't nobody's mother and stuff, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I could wash my hair before I come see you. It's not a problem. But definitely a retwist and style should be like $60, man. I mean, come on. I can see if you got hair from the head to your ankles. I can see that. I can see you saying, hey, look, for your hair being as long as it is, I got to do some extended stuff. But somebody who's walking there on the humbug, man, come on, y'all is overpricing out here, man. Y'all is beating down people's brains out here, man. Come on, man. Y'all know who y'all are. I'm not going to expose you and say who you are. But I think most people know what people I'm talking about. Y'all is busting necks out here, man, trying to do people's hair, man. That's crazy. Man, come on. Ain't nobody trying to pay all that. I'd rather do it myself, man. Because, I'm woofing. I've been woofing. Look, y'all lunching. But, yeah, that was a sidebar. I just had to say that. Another thing I had to say. I know this is added on stuff into a message that shouldn't even be added on, but I'm just going to say this. I get the whole crosswalk thing here in Maryland. People walk across the crosswalk as, pedestrian first. They look at state law, this and that. I get all that. But during a green light, I don't believe that people should be walking across the crosswalk. I don't believe that should be something that they thinking that is a suitable thing for them to do is walk across the crosswalk during a green light. I could be wrong here, but I don't think that that's just the safest thing for people to feel like it's cool to walk across a crosswalk during the green light of like a major road. Like people are on a green light, literally stopped in traffic. Traffic is bumper to bumper because somebody decides to walk across a crosswalk. That's crazy. That's crazy work. That's crazy work, man. Look, I get it. It's a law. It's pedestrian first. I get that. I understand that. I oblige to that, and I'm with that. But I do not feel like it is the safest thing for a pedestrian to be walking across the crosswalk during a green light. I don't think that is safe. Maryland, you need to do something about that, because that is crazy work. Crazy work. Where do people find the reasoning to believe that it is the safest option to walk across a a crosswalk during a green light of high flowing traffic at like 2 and 3 o'clock when they know school buses and everything is, I mean, that's just crazy work. To believe that people have that concept like, oh, I'm okay. I have the right of way. It's a green light. What right of way do you have during a green light? That's all I wanted to say on that. That's crazy. That is some crazy work. But like I said, the world's just gonna get crazy, people. It has to get crazy. It has to. We have to see. We have to see. Because it's all spiritual first. And we somehow forgot about that as people. But we will somehow remember that again as people. Everything comes out in the light. I love the light. Light is my best friend. He ain't never lied to me. Light made me see clearly. And I see clearly. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's, I guess I done said everything I could say at this potential moment in space and time. Name is James. Sometimes, very rarely, again, you know, I go by the name of Yeshua. And the reason why I do is because I do feel like a savior. I do feel like a guiding light for people. So why not embody that image? See, then that's what I'm talking about. But I put my spin on it. I talk differently. I am the walking light, but I am the embodiment of it every day. I don't deviate from this light. Every single day, people could say I'm consistent on my path. Every single day, no sway, no movement, no nothing. I'm consistent, planted like a tree, like this one behind me, planted firmly. And don't get bothered by the lefts and rights. This is where we got to come to as people. That's where we going to give a full frame of me. Yeah, you know, we give a full frame. Yeah, man. Came a long way, man. Can you imagine? I was like 300 and something. 300 and something, like, what? Almost 2 years ago? 300 and something, almost 2 years ago? Lose 140 pounds in 346 days? Who could do that? God. God. Same God you have inside you. He's in all of us. Every single last one of us. Have the same God. Now, here's the tricky part. We all have the essence of the most high, the one who sits above it all, the supreme of the supreme, right? We all have that essence in us. But a lot of us, knowingly and unknowingly, accept a lot of entities inside of us. A lot of these entities are attached to higher vibration demonic deities, if you want to say. You can't see. We only see what they say, 2%, 5% of the light spectrum. I can't remember what they say, and don't quote me on that. They only say we see a small percentage of the light spectrum. But I wonder, when we really could see the full percent of the light spectrum, will we be able to see these demonic deities? Will we also be able to see these angelic deities? That's a good question. Here's another question. If that day ever happens, or to some who might actually know and don't just believe, but know that that day would happen. I wonder, will we also see that supreme being? That supreme who sits higher than all other supremes? Will we also see that supreme being? Just a question. Food for thought. So I only ask, what verification are you giving to what that lives inside of you? What lives inside of me is me. I give vindication to me. Because by giving vindication to me is by giving vindication to everything that's within me. That's everything that's within me. Everything that's came before me. Nothing external, everything internal. So that goes all the way down the balls and chains of the line. Or all the way up the balls and chains of the line. It doesn't matter. But I give vindication to that. Supreme abundance to you all. And to you all, supreme abundance. I felt like I went through and spoke about who I am, things I've seen, things I experienced. I'm like I said, I grew up in a rough childhood. So I got to adolescence. I was doing some of the wrong things in life, you know. Suffered consequences for a lot of the actions that I made in my youth. Started seeing things in a different manner. Started to get back to the essence of thinking differently, wanting to be differently, be more supreme, be better, because I felt like who I was looking at in the mirror wasn't who I was depicted to be. So I started to implement the changes after 2020, you know, I mean, everybody could say their time frames. I mean, I would say it was more like 2019 for me, because it was right after I got sick. Right before they started talking about the Wuhan, China stuff, and right before they started talking about all that stuff, fish market, all that stuff, I got sick. I mean, sick as a dog. I almost died. My body heated up so hot. They were so afraid. They were so afraid. Like, oh my gosh. Didn't even know somebody's body could heat up that hot. They thought I was dying right there. They were about to put me in an ice bath and everything. They thought I was dying. But I came back too. I was there by myself. Nobody around me. I had people in my corner, but nobody was around me. It was just me. And I started to think differently. To be different. I always had this inkling that what I was being, or what I was in the transition of being, was already within me, and I already had it in me, and I was already excluding that, or exhibiting that. But I just never put it in the full throttle. So I was working my ways onto different things and learning different things, and you know, you're talking to a kid, man, that used to watch Ancient Aliens and X-Files, and not that I was a firm believer into that type of stuff, but just more I was a firm believer that there had to be something more and something different. Yeah, there had to be something more and something different. Yeah, somebody just pulled up and then pulled out. And I just noticed that like it's somebody that I noticed that does things that it's just you know, like people were. I don't listen. First and foremost, let me just say this: I don't know this person. This person don't know me. let me just go ahead and just say that first and foremost. I don't know this person. This person does not know me. This is a female. This is a Caucasian or Caucasus female. This is a female. I don't know this lady. She doesn't know me. But every time she sees me, she's always pulling up beside me or any. I'm like, man, what are you doing, man? Like, who are you? And then, like, once I get to noticing, like, she's just sitting there right beside me. She'll get to, like, looking all around and then, like, noticing that I'm looking. And she'll be like, you're all like this and with the weird eyes. You know how people get with the weird eyes where they're trying to see if you see them, but they're not trying to see that you see them or let you see that they are looking, seeing you see them. It's type of weird ass shit. And then the next thing you know, this backs up and pulls out. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy work. It's crazy work. But, you know, you got to control that type of stuff. But when I see that stuff, I definitely address it. Because, I mean, what are you doing? Hey, is there a reason why you pulled up right here? You know, but anyway. But, yeah. You know, I've suffered, you know, great karmas for the things in my life, man. But you know what? I can say this. There are so much things in my life that I don't know the truth about. That I truthfully do not know the truth in totality about. That I'm slowly developing the understanding to see and get because it's being revealed. And it's such a beautiful thing. So as I say to you guys, I think I ran through everything. And I'm now at the plateau that I have. Like 2 years ago, I went in the Supreme Diet. I went fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and grains, all high in ancient grains and ancient stuff, more like, you know, what the, you know, high, I guess, alkalinity rate for these type of items. Even though a lot of items, there's no such thing as an alkaline diet, or, you know, it's just certain things that when you eat, when they metabolize into your body or alkalize forming or produce alkalinity in the body. A lot of your fruits, a lot of your vegetables, stuff like that. But then a lot of fruits and vegetables are hybrid. A lot of the nuts, seeds, and grains are hybrid. They're mixed and spliced and stuff like that for different beneficial stuff. So I would say when I got more onto my organic, and I like to call it a supreme diet, because I'm eating things that are ancient, that was over 10,000 years ago, still found here growing on this plane. You know what I'm saying? Over 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 was here growing. So I eat things like that. I eat things that when you go back in ancient times, and they talk about in ancient times about how the apple was there and how not oranges, but Seville oranges were there, or how limes, key limes were there, or how fennel was there, not celery, fennel was there, or how wild strawberry, I'm not saying strawberries aren't organic, but I'm just saying wild strawberries was there, blueberries was there, blackberries, cranberries was never there. You know what I'm saying? Cranberries wasn't there in the beginning of time when they was eating, when they was scourging for fruits, vegetables, and stuff like that. Cranberries wasn't there. Pineapples wasn't there. You know, almonds wasn't there. You know, cashews wasn't there. You know. So, you know, that part. So once I got more onto that diet, that supreme diet, you know, I started to think differently. I started to act differently. I started to drop the weight. I started to feel healthier. I started to feel, my spirit started to feel alive again. And this is something I just don't feel like I would ever go back to the old ways. I would always stay in these new ways of being and thinking, because in this new way, it just feels more supreme. It feels like that's where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm at. This is how life is. This is how life is supposed to be. So, like I said before, supreme abundance to you all, and to you all supreme abundance. May you all have a beautiful day. Supreme.